When I want to read a cookie value, it's a little bit trickier because the reading of a cookie returns all of the cookies in a single string. So let's take a look at how that looks in. So in the last section, I set these two cookies, name and theme. And what we can do now, since those cookies are set, is I can comment those out. And even when I refresh this, uh, what we can see is um, those two cookies come back in a single string. And so if I want to get the value of a single cookie, I have to do a few things. Okay, so the first thing we need to do if we want to retrieve a cookie value, now that we've got these two cookies stored and we're getting them back in a single string by invoking document cookie, what we want to do is we want to shift things a little bit, and we want to just get the value of just one of those cookies. So what we have to do is pull out our text processing abilities here. And the first thing I want to do is get cookies, and I'm going to say document.cookie, and then we're going to split that string. And since that string has semicolons and spaces in between, that becomes the thing we're going to split on. And so now cookies will be an array of all of the cookies in this page. So what I'm going to get is theme equals light and name equals Bill as the cookies. If I set that to the display value, and I run that now, you can see the semicolon has turned into a comma, which indicates that these are actually an array now. So what do I want to do with that array? I want to find the one in there that has the theme key, and I can do that with a pretty short line of code. And if I say my cookie equals cookies dot find, and then I'm going to use what's called an arrow function in here, cookie, and then I'm going to use the arrow function. Let's collapse this for a second so I can show you the whole thing. And we're going to say cookie starts with, and we're going to say theme equals. Okay, so now what happens here when I invoke this is I'm using the cookies.find function, or the method find, that is an array method, and that array method takes an argument that says what is it that we're looking for. And so inside that find method, I'm using what's called an arrow function that basically says let's go through all of the cookies, everything in the array, and for each one we're going to call it cookie. And we're going to say, does that cookie start with, because the cookie is going to be a string, we can use the starts with method here. And does that start with this? And if it does, then it returns that back to my cookie. And so if I say my cookie, what will we get next? Okay, so now we have identified the right theme, and if I want to isolate light, then I'm just going to split that and grab that second part of it. So if I want to split and grab that second part of that, say my value equals my cookie dot split, and we're going to split that on the equal sign, and then I can actually use a shortcut here, because what this gives me so far is an array of two items, the thing that's before the equal sign and the things after the equal sign. So if I just want the thing after the equal sign, I can just tack the index right on the back of that and switch this. Of course, now needs to read my value. Save that, and you can see that we've been able to just retrieve the theme value. Now, if I want to change that to name, I can retrieve the name value just as easily. So it's a little bit more work to retrieve the specific value of a specific cookie, but using our string manipulation tactics, we can do it